There are 5 completely different lives waiting for you at retirement. One of them is the one your current habits are building right now. Most people don't find out which one until the paychecks stop. Today we're going to figure out yours while you can still change it. Picture yourself 10 years from now, opening your banking app on a Tuesday morning. Maybe the number you see makes you exhale, or maybe it makes your stomach drop, and you start doing math in your head. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Nobody in your feed is saying out loud, that Tuesday morning is already being written by what you do with money this year. The Federal Reserve tracks 5 distinct wealth levels Americans actually retire into. 5 completely different versions of what the rest of your life looks like. And your spending and saving habits right now are quietly voting for one of them. Before we get into the levels, you need to understand why most people are confused about this. The number people think they need to retire is $1.46 million. That's the average expectation in 2026. The actual median retirement savings for someone aged 55 to 64 right now, $185,000. That's not a gap, that's a canyon. And it exists because people measure the wrong thing. Most people track their income, how much lands in their account every 2 weeks. But income is just what flows through your hands. It tells you almost nothing about what stays. The real number is net worth, everything you own minus everything you owe. That's the number sitting there on the day the paychecks stop. And here is where it gets interesting. Income and net worth are not the same thing. A 2026 Bank of America report found 42% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Nearly half of people earning between $50,000 and $100,000 a year say the same thing. So your salary is not your destiny. Your behavior is. To prove it, meet 2 coworkers, Alex and Jordan. Same company, same department, same salary. Alex automated 15% of every paycheck into index funds starting at 24. Jordan spent their 20s telling themselves they'd start when things settled down. They both hit 65 at the same time. Alex has $1.2 million. Jordan has $90,000. Same income, 30 years difference in behavior. Completely different retirements. When the Federal Reserve lines up Americans by net worth at retirement age, 5 levels appear. Each level is a fundamentally different life, not a slightly different version of the same one. Let's walk through all 5 and figure out which one your habits are building right now. The 5-wheeled stages. The cliff edge, bottom 25% net worth, under $69,500. Level 1, the bottom 25% of retirees. Net worth below $69,500. For a lot of people inside this level, the honest number is much closer to 0. There is no portfolio quietly generating income. There is no cushion. There is one thing: Social Security. In 2026, the average Social Security check is about $2,071 a month. That set per $24,800 a year to run an entire life. Rent, groceries, prescriptions, the car repair, the birthday present for your grandkid, all of it. And here's the 2026 twist that makes level 1 even harder than it looks on paper. Social Security got a 2.8% raise this year. Sounds like help. But Medicare Part B premiums also jumped. The standard premium is now $203 a month, a nearly 10% increase pulled straight from the check. That raise that showed up on the headline? For many people, it evaporated before hitting the bank. Meet Maya, 69 years old, warehouse logistics her whole career. Never missed a shift. Last February, her water heater died, no savings account to draw from, credit card. Still paying it off. Maya is not in poverty by the government's definition, but there is zero daylight between income and expenses. Every surprise is a crisis. Every crisis makes next month harder than this one. How does someone land here? Almost never through one big mistake. It's a series of small delays, starting later, cashing out old 401x's when switching jobs. A 25-year-old who skips investing $200 a month doesn't lose $200. They lose what that becomes in 40 years. Depending on returns, that could be $400,000 gone because of a delay nobody felt. Stage 2, The paycheck retirement, 50th percentile net worth, $69,500, $394,300. Level 2. This is where most Americans actually land, and that fact alone should wake you up. Net worth between $69,000 and just under $400,000. The median net worth for Americans aged 65 to 74 is around $410,000. So if you're at level 2, you're not behind the average American. You are the average American. The problem is, the average American's retirement is much tighter than almost anyone expects. Here's why. Most of that $400,000 is locked inside the house. The actual invested retirement account, the part that pays the bills, is often closer to $200,000. Run the math. 4% of $200,000 is $8,000 a year, about $660 a month. Add the average Social Security check, and you're looking at around $32,000 a year total. That's your entire budget for an entire life. Meet Priya. 67, spent 30 years in HR, did almost everything right by the rules she was taught. House is paid off. Net worth around $290,000. Bills are covered. She is not in crisis. But that trip to Portugal she's been planning, postponed for the 3rd year in a row. Helping her nephew with his first apartment? Wanted to, simply couldn't. Level 2 works as long as nothing goes seriously wrong. According to Fidelity's latest numbers, a single 65-year-old will spend roughly $172,000 on healthcare alone. For a couple, that's $345,000. And that doesn't even include long-term care. For a level 2 household, healthcare can quietly drain the entire savings portion of net worth. The gap between level 2 and level 3 is almost never income. It's automation and savings rate. Level 2 retirees typically saved 5% or less. Level 3 saved 15 to 20%, same paycheck. Massive difference. Stage 3, the breeding room tier top 25% and 10%. Net worth, $394,300, $1.9 million. Level 3. This is where retirement starts to feel the way people imagined it would. Net worth from just under $400,000 up to about $1.9 million. What changes everything at this level is one thing. Genuine discretionary breathing room. A level 3 household with $800,000 invested can pull $32,000 a year under the 4% rule. Layer Social Security on top and combined household income clears $50,000 comfortably. That trip to Japan that Priya had to postpone? It happens. The roof gets fixed without panic. Meet the Nguyen's, both retired, mid-60s, combined $900,000 in invested accounts. He was a regional sales rep. She was a school administrator. Neither was ever a high earner. Their best year together was maybe $115,000. Most years it was significantly less. So how did they get here? 3 habits executed without exception for 3 decades. First, they automated contributions the week they each started their first real job. They never touched it. Second, they had a 15% savings rate and treated it as untouchable as their rent payment. In 2026, you have serious tools for this. The 401k limit is $24,500 if you're under 50. Over 50, that ceiling jumps to $32,500. Between 60 and 63, enhanced catch-up pushes it above $35,750. Most people walk right past these doors because nobody pointed at them. Now you know they exist. Third habit, and this one is the heaviest lifter. They stayed invested when the market crashed. In 2020 and 2022, when everyone was panic selling, they did nothing. They held. Someone putting $400 a month into the market for 35 years at 8% ends up near $900,000. The same $400 a month sitting in a 3% savings account ends up at roughly $300,000. Same income, same monthly amount. One person retires level 3, one retires level 2. The only variable that changed? Where the money went and whether they panicked when it dropped. Stage 4, the work optional tier, top 10% net worth $1.9 million, 3 plus. Level 4, the top 10% of retirees, and reaching it changes the fundamental question of retirement. Below this level, the question is always some version of, will the money last? At level 4, the money lasts. The new question becomes, what do I actually want to do? Net worth starts at around 1.9 million and climbs from there. True top decile is closer to 3 million. Only about 1 in 10 households reaches retirement with this kind of wealth. But here's the myth. Most people assume level 4 is full of surgeons, executives, and startup founders. It is not. A large share of level 4 retirees describe their careers as completely ordinary. Teachers, project managers, nurses, small business owners who just never stopped building. Meet Marcus. He is 68 now, project manager at a construction firm for 32 years. Wife was a pediatric nurse. Their net worth today is 2.4 million. People assume there was a windfall. There wasn't. In their peak earning years, they pushed their combined savings rate above 25%. Every raise went into the portfolio first, not into a newer car or a bigger apartment. They refused lifestyle creep. That is the single most efficient way to earn a lot and still retire broke. Marcus maxed out both their 401 every year. They used IRAs, and they used an HSA as a stealth weapon. In 2026, a family can put $8,750 into an HSA, contributions, growth, and qualified withdrawals all tax-free. Most people treat the HSA as a spending account. Marcus treated it as a tax-free healthcare fund. The $182,000 healthcare bill that crushes a level 2 retirement. Marcus already has it covered. He didn't out-earn his neighbors, he out-structured them. That distinction is everything. The generational tier, top 1% net worth, 13.7 Whisper's prices. Level 5, the top 1%. Net worth around 13.7 million and beyond. This level operates by completely different rules, and it's worth understanding even if you never reach it. At level 5, the question of running out of money is simply gone. It evaporates. The focus shifts entirely. It's not about funding a retirement, it's about what the money does after you're gone. Many level 5 people keep working well into their 60s and 70s, but every single bit of it is a choice. They run foundations, they mentor, they invest in other people's futures. Not one of them is doing it to make rent. Here's the real insight, and this is why I included level 5 in this video. The path here is not just a bigger version of the path to level 3 or 4. Levels 1 through 4 are built mainly by saving income. Disciplined and automated over decades. Level 5 is built by owning assets, businesses, real estate, equity stakes that compound without you clocking in. The wealth here is not tied to hours anymore. It's detached from their time entirely, and the tax code quietly rewards that at every stage: long-term gains, trust structures, ownership-first strategy. I'm not telling you this so you'll aim for 13 million. The point is the direction. Even a level 2 person who buys a single index fund has in a small way started to own assets, not just earn wages. Finally, so here's the full picture. 5 levels, 5 completely different versions of the same chapter of life. Level 1, a social security cliff with nothing underneath it. Level 2, functional, grateful, tight, and 1 bad year away from stress. Level 3, the first real breathing room, actually living instead of just managing. Level 4, work becomes a choice. Fear disappears. Margin shows up for the first time. Level 5, the money outlives the owner. The question becomes legacy, not survival. At no point in any of that did income decide the outcome. Alex and Jordan had the same salary for 30 years and retired $1 million apart. The behaviors that move you up are not complicated. They just require a decision, repeated. Start early, automate it, push your savings rate toward 15%. Stay invested through fear. Refuse to let every raise become a lifestyle upgrade. Use the HSA, walk into retirement without debt. That is the entire list. None of it requires a high salary. All of it requires a decision made today. Thanks for your time to watch our video. If this video helped you see your trajectory clearly, subscribe. This channel does the math nobody taught you.